Patricia said it the same way she always did. "You're lucky my son chose you." She was reaching for her wine glass when she said it, like it was nothing, like she was commenting on the weather or the roast being a little dry this time. I had done it so many times I could feel the shape of it in my sleep. The slight lift of the corners. The softening around my eyes. The tilt of my head that said thank you without words. I had performed that smile for 7 years every time she told me I was lucky her son chose me. 40 times. Maybe 50. I stopped counting after the first anniversary. But this time I didn't do it. I just looked at her. Her hand stopped halfway to the glass. She looked at my face like she was reading a document in a language she thought she understood. And for the first time in 7 years, Patricia did not know what to say next. "My name is Claire. I was 32 when I met Liam, working as a pediatric nurse, pulling 12-hour shifts and coming home to an apartment that was quiet in a way I thought I wanted. By the time we got engaged, I had learned how to keep my own life small enough to fit into someone else's expectations. I just did not know I had learned it yet. 3 weeks before the wedding. Engagement dinner at a restaurant Patricia had picked, one of those places where the servers wore vests and the wine list was longer than the menu. Liam had told me she was particular. I thought he meant about table settings. He meant about everything. Patricia set her fork down halfway through the salad course and looked at me like she was reviewing a file. You know, I had mothers calling me for years. Lawyers' daughters. Doctors' daughters. One girl whose family owned a vineyard. But he chose you. I laughed. I actually laughed. Because who says that out loud at an engagement dinner? She did not laugh with me. Her fork stayed on the table. Her eyes did not move. So I smiled and said, "I'm very lucky." "Yes," she said. "You are." Not a conversation. A performance review. And I had passed. Liam laughed nervously from the other side of the table. "Mom's just protective," he said. He did not look at me when he said it. He was already cutting his salad, already moving on, already done with the moment because it did not cost him anything. I filed it away. Something to navigate. A quirk of my future mother-in-law. A line I would hear again and learn to let pass. I did not say that I also chose Liam. I did not say that I had options too. I smiled and asked Patricia what color flowers she thought would work best for the centerpieces. She had opinions. She always had opinions. And somewhere in that dinner, I made a decision I did not know I was making. That smiling was easier than anything else. That the smile bought peace. That the smile was the price of being welcome. I just did not know yet what I was paying for. 2 months after the wedding. Thanksgiving at Patricia's house. I was helping clear the appetizer plates when she said it again, standing at the kitchen counter, handing me a stack of salad bowls. "You're lucky my son chose you." Liam was in the living room watching football. He never heard it. That was the pattern I started noticing. She only said it when he was not in the room. Always in a kitchen. Always while handing me something to carry. Like the words were part of the transaction. Like I was supposed to take them along with the plates. Jenna found me later, after the turkey, when Patricia was cornering someone else about their life choices. Jenna had been married to Mark for 6 years. Patricia had cried at their engagement announcement. Not happy tears. "She said that to me too," Jenna said, leaning against the pantry door. "For 3 years. Until I told her my husband chose me just as much as I chose him." I asked her what happened. Jenna shrugged.
She cried.
Then she told everyone I was difficult. Then she stopped. "You don't have to smile every time," Jenna said. "You know that, right? It's easier." She looked at me for a long moment. Easier for who? I did not answer her. I knew the answer. Easier for Patricia. Easier for Liam. Easier for everyone except the person doing the smiling. Jenna had stopped smiling, and she was still here. Still invited to Thanksgiving. Still married to Mark. Still standing in Patricia's kitchen like she belonged there. She had told Patricia the truth, and the world did not end. Patricia cried. Patricia told people she was difficult. And then Patricia stopped. So why was I still smiling every time? What was I afraid would happen if I stopped? Jenna walked back to the dining room, and I stood there holding the salad bowls Patricia had handed me, and I did not have an answer yet. I met Mara for coffee on a Tuesday, the kind of gray afternoon where the cafe was mostly empty. She asked how the holidays went. I told her about the pattern, the kitchen, the plates, the line Patricia delivered when Liam wasn't listening. I said it wasn't a big deal, just annoying, just something I had learned to let pass. Mara set her mug down. She has that therapist habit of waiting, not filling the silence, just letting it sit there until you hear yourself. What happens if you don't smile next time? That would be rude. What she's doing is rude. You're just not matching her energy anymore. I shook my head. It's not that serious. You're not her daughter-in-law, Mara said. You're her audience. And she's been performing the same monologue for 7 years because you keep applauding. I'm not applauding. I'm smiling. Same thing to someone like her. Your smile is the standing ovation. I wanted to argue. I wanted to say Mara didn't understand because she had only met Patricia 4 times. But she had disliked her after the first. Not dramatically. Not with a story she repeated to friends. Just a quiet, I don't like how she looks at you. I had dismissed it then. I had said Patricia was just particular. I had used Liam's word, particular, like it was about table settings, like it was about flower arrangements. Mara did not tell me to confront Patricia. She did not give me a script or a strategy. She just asked better questions than I had been asking myself. Was I smiling to be kind? Or had I been training Patricia to expect a reward for every small cruelty? And if it was the second one, whose fault was that really? Patricia's birthday was 3 weeks away. Sunday lunch at her house, the kind of casual meal that was never actually casual. She served soup. She said the line while ladling it into my bowl. You're so lucky he chose you. I smiled. But this time I noticed something. The smile did not reach my eyes. It had not reached my eyes for a long time, probably. But I had never stopped to check. Patricia did not notice either. She never noticed. She was already turning to ask Liam about his work, already done with me, already satisfied. She had been talking to the smile, not to the person wearing it. That night I stood in front of the bathroom mirror. I looked at my face, my resting expression. No lift at the corners. No softening around the eyes. No tilt of the head. It looked like exhaustion, but it also looked like honesty. I had not seen my own honest face in Patricia's kitchen in years. I told Liam I was tired of it. We were in bed, lights off, his back half turned. She doesn't mean anything by it, he said. That's just how she talks. Would you say that to her? That you're lucky I chose you? Silence. Then, that's different. He did not explain how. I did not push him. I turned to my side of the bed and stared at the wall. His silence about his mother's behavior was its own form of agreement. He did not have to hear the line. He did not have to smile. He did not have to carry plates and be told he was lucky to be tolerated. He just got to sit in the living room watching football while I handled it, and he wanted it to stay that way. His comfort depended on my performance, not my happiness. Not my honesty, just the smile, just the standing ovation. And I was the one who had trained him to expect it. Patricia's birthday. 10 people around her dining table. The good china. The crystal glasses. Liam at one end, Patricia at the other, me somewhere in the middle where I had always been. Mara sat next to me as my +1, and I could feel her watching before the main course even came out. Patricia waited until the plates were down. Until everyone had their fork in hand. Then she looked at me across the table and said it with a smile. You're so lucky my son chose you. I did not smile. I looked at her and said nothing. The table went quiet. Someone's fork clinked against a plate. Patricia laughed, a nervous sound I had never heard from her before. Oh, she knows I love her. She's just shy about compliments. Mara set her fork down. What compliment? You told her she's lucky your son chose her. That's not a compliment. That's a reminder of her place. Patricia's face did something I had not seen before. The confidence cracked. Just a little. Just at the edges. She turned to me. Are you going to let her talk to me like that? I looked at her. She's not wrong, Patricia. Liam did not say anything. He did not look at me. He did not look at his mother. He looked down at his plate and cut his meat very carefully. Small pieces. Precise. The way you cut food when you are trying to look busy, so no one asks you a question. I saw it then. Really saw it. He would never be on anyone's side except the side that required the least of him. Not mine. Not hers. Just his own quiet place where nothing touched him. I finished my dinner. The salmon was dry. The potatoes were cold. I ate every bite anyway. I did not cry. I did not leave the table. I did not perform anything except the simple act of eating food I did not cook, surrounded by people who had watched me smile for 7 years and called me lucky. The smile was gone. And now I wanted to see what Patricia would do to get it back. 2 days after the birthday dinner, Patricia called me directly. Not Liam. Not a group text asking if we were free for dinner. Just my name on her caller ID, which had never happened before unless someone was sick. She asked if she could come over. I said yes. I did not clean the house. I did not bake anything. I sat on my own couch and waited. When she arrived, she was holding a store-bought cake. Chocolate with raspberry filling. Something she had never done before. She put it on the counter without asking where it should go, like she was trying to hand me something instead of the other way around. She sat across from me. She folded her hands in her lap. I feel like something is wrong between us. I waited. Let the silence sit the way Mara had taught me without knowing she was teaching me. You tell me I'm lucky my husband chose me? I said. You've been telling me for 7 years. Patricia blinked. That's just something I say. Why? Long pause. She looked at her hands. Because I wanted him to marry someone who knew how lucky she was. I knew. I didn't need to be reminded. She nodded slowly. Her mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. I did not say the rest. That her reminders were not for my benefit. They were for her comfort. Each smile I gave her was a receipt proving the transaction was still in her favor. That she had not lost anything when her son got married. That she was still first. Still chosen. Still the one who decided who was lucky and who was not. Patricia sat on my couch with her store-bought cake and her folded hands, and I watched her try to find a way out of the moment that did not require her to say she was wrong. I do not think she knew how to do it. I do not think anyone had ever asked her to. Subscribe if any of this sounds familiar. Patricia sat down across from me. She did not apologize. She folded her hands again, the same way she had in the car on the way to my wedding rehearsal, like she was bracing for something unpleasant but necessary. I didn't come here to fight. Then why did you come? She looked at the cake on the counter, then back at me. Because you've changed. And I want to know why. I could have given her the list. The engagement dinner. The 7 Thanksgivings. The kitchen counter where she handed me plates and told me I was lucky, over and over, like she was afraid I might forget. I could have told her about the mirror in my bathroom and the smile that never reached my eyes. But I did not. I gave her one sentence. I stopped smiling because I realized you weren't talking to me. You were talking to the person you wanted me to be. And I got tired of being invisible at my own dinner table. Patricia's face shifted. The confidence I had watched crack at her birthday dinner now splintered completely. That's not fair. I've always included you. Including me isn't the same as seeing me. Her eyes filled. Tears ran down her cheeks. She did not wipe them away. She just sat there crying on my couch, this woman who had spent 7 years telling me I was lucky to be tolerated, and I watched her. I did not hand her a tissue. I did not reach for her hand. I did not say it was okay. I never meant to make you feel invisible. I know. That's the worst part. You didn't mean anything. You just said the same thing over and over, and I smiled every time, and you thought that meant everything was fine. I did not raise my voice. I did not cry. I sat completely still and watched Patricia cry, and I felt nothing except the absence of the smile that used to live in my jaw. That tightness, that performance, it was gone. And sitting there, watching her face crumple, I realized I had not lost anything by letting it go. I had just stopped carrying something that was never mine to carry in the first place. Patricia left without finishing the cake. She hugged me at the door, her arms tight around my shoulders, a hug that felt like an apology she could not say out loud. I hugged her back, not hard, not soft, just enough to acknowledge that something had happened between us, even if neither of us had the words for it yet. Then she walked to her car and drove away. Liam came home an hour later. He stood in the kitchen, looked at the cake on the counter, looked at me. My mom said you two had a talk. What did you say to her? I told her the truth. He waited. I did not give more. He shifted his weight. She was crying when she called me. People cry when they hear things they don't want to hear. What did you say? I told her I stopped smiling because she wasn't seeing me. That's all. Long silence. He stared at the cake. She sees you. She sees you. I'm just the person who married you. He did not deny it. He did not argue. He just stood there in the kitchen looking at the store-bought cake like it might explain something to him. I did not ask him if he saw me. I already knew the answer. He saw what I did for him. The dinners I planned. The holidays I managed. The smile I wore in his mother's kitchen every time she handed me plates and told me I was lucky. He had never once asked me what it cost to produce it on command. Patricia's birthday was coming up. The dinner I had already decided I would attend, or not attend on my own terms. I decided to attend, but I would not smile unless I meant it, and I was not sure Liam knew the difference. The next family dinner. Patricia served me first. That had never happened before. She always served Liam first, then herself, then whoever was closest to her chair. But this time she picked up my plate, filled it, and set it down in front of me. She opened her mouth to say something, and then she stopped. The whole table waited. Patricia looked at me, looked down at her hands, and said, "Pass the bread, please." I passed the bread. I did not smile. Jenna leaned over, her voice low. "What did you do?" I stopped smiling. "That's it. That's it." She looked at me like she was waiting for more. I did not give her more. I did not tell her about Patricia crying on my couch. I did not tell her about the store-bought cake or the hug at the door or the way Liam had not looked me in the eye since that night. Some things are not stories. Some things are just the cost of taking your face back. For the first time in 7 years, no one at the table told me I was lucky. Patricia talked about her garden. Liam talked about work. Jenna passed the potatoes. And I ate my dinner like a person who is not performing for anyone. I do not know if Patricia will say the line again. I do not know if Liam will ever understand why it mattered. I know that my face belongs to me now. That is not a victory. That is the difference between being chosen and choosing yourself, quietly, without applause, without a smile to prove you deserve to stay. I'm over at where silence ends. When was the last time you smiled and meant the opposite of it?